Hello everyone. I am Dr. Sosengfa Gogoi, Assistant Professor, Department of Political Science, North Lakhimpur College Autonomous. Welcome you all to my channel, ePolitica. I'm here with another module on a very important concept in political science in general and comparative politics in particular. This is about structural and functional approach. So today's module is about structural functionalism or about structural and functional approach. The objectives of this module is to understand the meaning of structural functionalism, to study basic assumptions of structural functionalism, to learn the positions of different philosophers on structural functionalism, to analyze Gabriel Allman's structural functionalism in particularly. So after you listen to this module, you would be able to understand what is the meaning of structural functionalism, what are the basic assumptions of structural functionalism, what are the different ideas on structural functionalism developed by different political philosophers. Then we will also talk about what was the understanding of structural functionalism developed by Gabriel Allman, and we would also present certain important criticisms on structural functionalism. So before we begin with the concept, I would like to request to the new viewers to kindly subscribe the channel so that you would able to see the upcoming modules on different aspects of political science. This particular approach on structural functionalism is important not only for undergraduate courses in political science but also for the master's programs in different universities. And this particular concept is also important for clearing NET examination on political science and also helpful for civil service experience. Let us begin. There are so many approaches to understand politics and comparative politics more particularly. Among them, one of the important concept or important approach which is very relevant in present day context to understand the changing political scenarios is known as structural functionalism or structural functional approach. This particular approach called structural functional approach, it is based on a context, and that context believes that political system is coherent whole and it is influenced and in return got influenced by the environment. Now what does it mean? It means that very idea of political system, it has something to do a relationship with environment. Although it is a complex concept, political system, although it is a very complex concept, but it has a very intricate relationship with the immediate environment. Therefore, the relationship between political system and environment can be understood by this diagram. If you look at into this diagram, probably you can understand that there is an interdependence between political system and environment. Now, when we say political system, we mean a set of system of government, how the government has been running, whether it is democratic, monarchic, constitutional monarchic, republic, federal, that is a political system. And when we talk about environment, we are not talking about the immediate natural, biological, physical environment. We are talking about the socio-political, economic, religious, cultural environment, and how that environment has an impact on political system, or vice versa. So that is what structural functionalism believes on. So as an approach, structural functionalism try to talk about the interdependence between political system and environment. And this interconnection, it implies three characteristics: comprehensiveness, independence, and boundaries. Now when we say comprehensiveness, it basically means that political system is a part of the greater social system. So there are some other parts of social system like religion, like economy, like culture. So political system is also a part of the system, the social system. So being a part of the system, the political system need to behave in a very comprehensive manner so that it can be interconnected with the other parts of the social system. So therefore, the interconnection between political system and environment according to structural functionalism based on the coherent, comprehensive nature of the political system. Secondly, the interdependence between political system and an environment can also be understood from second characteristic, that is called independence. Now, when we say independence, it means that every social system or every environment is independent of the other existing subsystems. For example, religion as a system, economy as a system, society as a system, culture as a system. All of these systems are independent and they are autonomous in their own activities. So religion has its own way to behave, own way to function. Economy has its own way to function. So therefore there has been a gross independence between these elements. The third characteristics of this interdependence between environment and political system, it says that there is an intricate boundary between the system. What does it mean? It means that every social system has its own boundaries. Now when we talk about it has own boundaries, it means that no social system or no subsystem within a society should violate the boundary of other. Although they are interdependent too, but they were not supposed to intervene. So therefore there is an intricate boundary of the social systems. Now when we talk about this interconnection between political system and environment by the structural functionalist, they do not want to talk about the relationships between individuals. Now when we talk about the interconnection between political system with other systems, we are not talking about how the relationship happen between individuals. Rather, structural functionalism gives importance to the roles of the individuals. So what role has been played by an individual in different political systems, that interconnection is more important. For example, every single individual has to perform certain specific role within social systems. For example, the president or prime minister within a political system, the village headman or panchayats had to behave within a political system, the priest section, the priest within the religious context, the markets in economy. All of these institutions and individual actors have their own rules, and how these actors are dependent on each other, how they are in a kind of a interconnection between each other with their roles. That is more important for structural functionalism. So individual is not important, rather the role of the individual is more important within the structural functional understanding. So being as an open system, structural functionalism believe that political system is an open system and it exists in communication with systems beyond its boundaries. That means political system is a separate concept, it is a separate system, but because it is interconnected within the social system, it has a relationship with other systems that exist. Which systems we are talking about? The system that I have cited already. The religion, culture, economy, so on and so forth. So there is a connection between political system and the other systems of the society. So this is the context in which the structural functionalism dependent on. Now when we talk about structural functionalism as a concept, it gives more importance to two words: structure and function. By structure, structural functionalism means the arrangements. Structure means the arrangements through which a system functions. Now when we talk about the arrangements by which a system functions, we are talking about the existing institutions within the political system. Now we have so many institutions which are very important, which performs a very important role, without whom we cannot think about political system. For example, legislature, for example, judiciary, for example, other institutions. They're very important and relevant for making a political system look different from each other. Now what makes a political system look different from others? For example, if you talk about monarchical regime, if you talk about democracy, if you talk about republican, what makes this political system look different? It is because of the existing structures. Within a federal structure, we have a central government, we have a state government. Within a monarchical regime, we have a constitutional head, we have a traditional head, we have a political head. So that kind of institutions make a system look different. Now when you talk about function, what does function means? Function means how the system works. So in a structural functional design, it implies what role has been performed, what roles has been performed by the offices. So the role that has been performed by the offices has been considered as function. So now what exactly structure and functionalism try to understand? It try to understand the structures of a political system and also try to understand the functions performed by those structures. Now let us talk about from where this approach originated. The approach was not originated in political science at the beginning. It was first originated in mathematics. That means this approach was firstly started or initiated, applied in mathematics. Then it was adopted in sociology. Then it was adopted in anthropology. And later it was carried out in political science. So when we talk about structural functionalism, therefore credit goes to the mathematicians who have applied structural functionalism in understanding their own realms. In this context, we have to talk about one person whose name was Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz. So Mr. Leibniz was the first person to apply structural functionalism in mathematics. But when we talk about political science, then we have to understand how structural functionalism enters in understanding political science. You know, structural functionalism as an approach, it got popular around 1960. Why in 1960? Because in 1960, the political philosophers of different parts of the world, they started understanding that the ways, the approaches which are applied in the studies of US and European politics, they were not useful in understanding the newly independent countries of the world. So there was a lacuna. There was a lacuna of approaches. There was a gap of, theories by which we can understand the changing political scenarios in the newly emerging countries. So therefore, there was a need for a new approach. So to fill up that new approach, structural functionalism was created as an alternative understanding of these newly independent countries. Now, which are the newly independent countries we are talking about? Broadly, those countries who have emerged after the Second World War has been considered as a newly emerged country. And these newly independent countries have a completely different kind of a political situation than of the US and Europe as a whole. So therefore, the theories which have been applied to understand US politics or European politics, it's not enough to understand the changing political situations of these countries. The countries which are belong to largely between the third world and the fourth world countries. So therefore, this approach was quite relevant to understand these newly independent countries, and that is how this approach was applied in political science in general and comparative politics in particular. Now let us talk about certain definitions of structural functionalism. The first definition was made by Robert T. Holt. I quote, "Structural functional analysis is a distinguishable approach primarily because of the selective aspects of social reality that it seeks to describe, explain, and predict. Full stop. It describes social reality largely in terms of structures, processes, mechanism, and functions." I unquote. Now, if you look at this definition made by Robert T. Holt, he has given importance to one word that is called social reality. He said that why do we need structural functional analysis? We need structural functional analysis to understand different selective aspects of social reality. Now, what is a social reality? For example, if you talk about the third world countries or the developing countries, we see that there are lots of social realities. For example, poverty. For example, unemployment. For example, corruption. For example, patriarchy. For example, human rights violations. For example, political gamblings. So there are lots of social realities. And to understand the selective aspects of social reality, we need an approach. What is that approach? That approach is called structural functionalism. And how structural functionalism understand the social reality? By describing, explaining, and predicting about social reality. And to describe, explain, and predicting social reality, what the structural functionalists take help from? They take help from structures, processes, mechanisms, and functions of those social realities. So the structures which are involved, the processes that are involved, the mechanism that is involved, the functions of those structures are closely monitored, described, explained, so that we can understand the social reality of a particular country. So this is what Robert T. Holt said. So he was very clear when he said that structural functionalism as an approach, it tried to understand the social reality by giving importance to the structures, processes, and mechanisms and functions of those structures. The second definition was made by another important person. His name was Stephen Westby. I quote, he said, in structural functional analysis, one determines the important structures and then attempts to trace out the functions of these structures. I unquote. Now, if you look at into its definition, Wasby said that in structural functional analysis, it gives importance to structures first, then it tries to understand the functions of these structures. So, the structural functionalism as an approach, two things are very important to understand. Structural functionalism try to understand what are the structures of existing structures of a political system and what functions has been applied by these structures. So this is structural functional approach, and these are the definitions which made us clear what is structural functionalism is all about. Let us now talk about the basic presumptions on which the structural functional approach was dependent on. Structural functionalism believes society as an interconnected unit. So it believes the society is an interconnected unit. Now, when you say that society is an interconnected unit, it means that within a society there are different kinds of units that exist. For example, religion, culture, polity, these kind of units are interconnected to each other. So the existence of one unit is largely dependent on another. So in this context, structural functionalism helps or reference from one important sociologist. His name was Herbert Spencer. So Herbert Spencer, he has an idea of similarity between human body and society. He draws a similar way the human anatomy performs with the society or the social institutions. Herbert Spencer said that the human body has different organs and a body can perform in the right manner with the coordination between the different organs of the human body. Same way, the society also act in a direction of coordination, comprehension between different units of the society. So therefore, structural functionalism, they have a presumption, they believe that society is an interconnected unit and these units are interconnected with each other, and the reason for that interconnection is to maintain an equilibrium. The second assumption believed by structural functional approach is parts of the society are interrelated to each other. So this is very important. The first assumption which has already been mentioned, that society has different kinds of interconnected units. So these units are not only interconnected but they are interrelated to each other. Now in this context again, structural functional approach draws reference from Herbert Spencer. Herbert Spencer believed that the part of the society are social institutions, the patterns of beliefs and behaviors on meeting social needs such as government, education, family, healthcare, religion, and the economy. So it means that in every society there exist different kinds of social institutions. There exist different kinds of belief patterns, different kinds of behavioral patterns, and these behavioral patterns, social institutions, they are created why? To meet the social needs of the people. And to meet the social need, what kind of institution we are talking about? For example, we are talking about government, education, family, healthcare, religion, economy, etc. And all these parts of the society, they are interrelated to each other. So for example, the condition of education, the condition of healthcare of a country cannot be seldom be looked upon as an issue of a particular organ. Rather, it is dependent on interconnection of different organs. For example, when you talk about education, we have to talk about the government institutions. We have to talk about the response of the parents, response of the family, social structures, religion. Those things are also important if you want to educate people or to impart education in at a greater level. So that's why structural functionalism's presumption on society is very important, because it believes that all the parts of the society are interrelated to each other. The third assumption, which is indeed a very important assumption, which is believed by structural functionalism, is every society runs through certain broad principles. So this is very important point that we need to remember, that every society, it has certain principles, whether it is customary or written. These principles actually guide the way the society should behave. So many a time the functions of the society, the behavior of the society is largely guided by the prescribed principles, the broad principles. In this context, structural functionalism takes reference from another important sociologist. His name was Emile Durkheim. So Durkheim, he said that every society, they got held together because of certain shared values, because of languages, because of symbols. So many times these values, languages, symbols, it binds the society together. It makes elements of the society together. So he believed that to study society, therefore we need to look at beyond individuals. We cannot understand a society or social facts only by looking at the behavior of the individuals. Rather, we have to look at the laws, the morals, the values, the religious beliefs, customs, fashions, and rituals, which all serve the govern to the social life of a society. So many a time, how the society behave, it does not dependent on the individual. Rather, it is dependent on the broad principles believed by the society or practiced by the society from time memorial. Now, let me take an example that things could be more clear. When you talk about a larger Indian society or larger Indian society, we believe that not all people in India are to be, stratified at the same level or they are recognized at the same level. And how that degree of stratification or degree of difference has been maintained. Good or bad, that stratification has been maintained due to the prevalent of Varna system. So Varna as a principle, as a customary law, has been practiced in many of the Hindu caste society, where we tend to categorize people. So therefore, this kind of broad principle guided the social facts of a society. So these presumptions, based on these presumptions, structural functional approach believes that every structure of the society, whether it is political, economic, they are largely dependent on each other, and their behavior is not guided by the individual's behavior. Rather, they are guided by the broad principles, the broad principles like laws, morals, values, religious beliefs, customs. Whether it is written or customary, they are dependent on them. So these are the presumptions believed by structure. You are watching ePolitica. So this is the first part on structural functionalism. The second part would follow after this module. Keep watching and subscribe to the channel.